Hi, welcome to another episode of Ike's Vintage Tech. Today I've got a Gateway E-3200. Went home for the holidays and found this in my brother's attic. It was my mom's computer from like 2002, 2003, give or take. He got it from a college he was going to for vocational school or whatever it was back then. It was originally built in '99. It was outdated by the time he got it as a hand-me-down from the college. It was still a very capable machine for its time. This machine is in rough shape. If I get it to work, I'll be surprised. It powers on. I believe the power supply is good. When you see the inside of this thing, it is not looking pretty. Basically, his attic is open to the weather. Basically, it's an old house built in the early 1900s, late 1800s. So being in the attic as it was, case off, it was in different pieces in different parts of the attic. We had to piece it all together. No hard drive, which is not a big deal. I'll be happy just to get a BIOS screen with this. I do want to get it restored if possible. I'm going to go ahead and take it apart, clean it up best I can. If I have to replace some components, I want to keep that to a minimum, just because you can find these things in good shape on eBay for like $150. So I don't want to go too deep into the repair here, but I do want to see if I can get it to work and see where we can go from there. So basic tools, I've got some deoxit, I've got isopropyl alcohol, multimeter. I got to go off camera because it's out of my reach, but I do have a power supply tester, stuff like that. So let's just do some basic stuff here. I've already attempted to power it on once with no luck. So making huge shadows here, so I'm going to put this down here. I am yet to get better lighting. I will. But this is the inside. It's a Pentium 3 550 megahertz. Back then, my mom may have smoked. I think she had already quit by that time. But she still had tons of incense that were all next to the computer. You know, perfect environment for that. I just put this end on this monitor, so it might be a little tight for this fit, and I might have to go with the LCD if this don't fit. Because this is a little, I wouldn't say proprietary, but it was a little tight space for the time. Yeah, it fits on there, but not great. You gotta fight it to get it on there. Little case intrusion button here. So as soon as you plug it in, it powers up. I'm gonna move the monitor over here if I can see anything at all. Just giving me the amber light on the monitor. I am not seeing any signs of life aside from the fan going. So I'm going to grab that power supply tester and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I've got my Thermaltake Dr. Power 2 power supply tester. I'm going to disconnect that right there and plug that in. I've got power. Now it's telling me it's a 24 pin, which is definitely wrong. It's only a 20 pin. I don't know if there's an easy way to change that. But the voltage is good. The +5 is 5.11, or no, 5.1. The 12 volt is 11.6, and the 3.3 volt is right on 3.3. -12, everything's good. So this looks like it might be a good power supply. Let me plug in that one right there is reading good. Yeah, these power connectors are good. So all that appears to be good. So what that tells me is I need to start taking this thing apart. Now, I did notice when you pull the CPU, it doesn't power on. My brother did tell me that back when he troubleshot this thing, you know, a decade or so ago, he said that he was able to clean out okay, I didn't kill the connector, that's good. So he was able to clean out the slot on the daughter board here, and then it booted up for him for a little while. So that tells me that it's probably dirty. Now this slot is in horrible shape. I'm just going to move that monitor to the side. I don't need it for now. I don't need the mouse and keyboard for now, because let's just assume everything is broke. Got to lift up on that, and that swings out, and then this comes off. It's a very interesting case design for the late 90s. Very modular. That was something they were starting to do back then in consumer grade stuff. AGP card here. It's very, I wouldn't say proprietary. Maybe other systems at the time had something like this, but as far as searching on eBay for replacements, I can only find this from models that were in the same case factor from Gateway at the time. So as far as upgrading to a newer card, that would be real tough to find, because a lot of the low profile ones that you do find are low profile down here, not up here. So this is like a high profile low. I don't know what you would call that. I'm sure somebody's screaming out there that knows what it's called, and I just don't. So this motherboard then slides out the little handle right there. It's very convenient. And it's on rails. I'm going to give this thing a good wash because it is filthy. Under a microscope, or with a naked eye, you can see it if you got good close-up vision. There's a couple points on the pins here, or the contacts, that might look like they've either got some minor corrosion or perhaps hot spot at some point in time. The capacitors have not appeared to start leaking yet. That might not be a bad idea to replace them while I'm in here. A couple caps over here too, of the surface mount variety. Everything seems to be, as far as I can tell, okay in that respect. The case, however, is filthy. Like I said, my mom may have been smoking at that time. I think she had quit. But she still had incense burning in the house 24/7. And from what my brother told me, she had them right next to the computer. So the power supply is just sucking all that air in and creating hell inside that system. And just looking in this thing, it's pretty filthy. Doesn't stink like a smoker system, so there's that. But smoke is smoke, depending on what you're smoking. Now, if I can get this daughter board out, I can get a good look at it as well. Now, I've got some deoxit here. Okay, that comes out rather easy after those two screws are out. Now you've got this right here, oh yeah, there's definitely some nastiness in and around here. The other thing I noticed is one of the RAM slots, the little white retaining clip, is gone on this one. I was able to find a replacement online, and I placed an order. We'll see if they come. Hopefully it's the same, because I did order SD-RAM PC100, like 168 pin slots. I think that's what this is, 168 pin. If I'm wrong, I wasted about $2 each, so I better be right, because I hate wasting money. But if you've watched the other videos I've posted so far, it seems to be something I mistakenly do from time to time. So I got your floppy drive, primary and secondary IDE channels on here. This actually has 10100 Ethernet. This was originally an education system and or business system that Gateway sold back then. It's a little different than their towers. I'm gonna get a little deoxit on the inside of this thing. Brand new can. Gonna reach off camera and grab a little rag so I don't make a mess on my bench. It's butcher block and I would like to keep it nice. Now, one way to clean out contacts in here would be to take a piece of stiff cardboard. I'm going to grab that. Okay, one way to clean out contacts in something like this is to take a piece of cardboard. In this case, just gently rub it in there. You don't want to be bending pins or anything like that. And you don't want to fight it, you don't want to force it either. So if it doesn't go in, don't force it. Not too bad, a little bit of black on that piece of paper. Quick little inspection, front and back. I'm going to take my ESD safe brush here and just clean out all those contacts. I don't know if incense is conductive when it burns. It very well could be. Gonna do it just a little bit more. Okay, a little test fit. I'm going to be cleaning that as well. Just to get it, yeah, look at, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but nice little black spot right there. And let's see if that worked. Let's just piece it back together real quick. Cat fur, because my mom is a crazy cat lady. I'm sure she'll love being called out for that on YouTube. But it's not something she ever denies. So, whoops, jumping the gun here. I don't know what that's going to connect to if there's nothing to connect to. All right, so I'm getting different noise now. The power supply is actually spinning up. That didn't spin up prior, so that's a good sign. I still don't hear any case beeping or anything like that from the case speaker, let's unplug that, plug the monitor in, and see what I can hear. See what I can hear? Let's see what we can see and hear what we can hear. Okay, I am not comfortable forcing this thing in there. I'm going to grab my LCD and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, now that I got a much easier cable to manage, let's see if I can not screw this up. All right, so that's in there. That's not the right thread. So, it was missing the screw for the GPU. Not a huge deal. All right, so monitor's on. Let's go ahead and turn case intrusion is down and this is on. Let's see. Wouldn't be completely out of the realm if this GPU was bad. Let's do a little bit more investigative research here. Let's pull the RAM and see if we can get, a no RAM beep. Nothing there. So let's pull it again and let's pull the CPU. CPU looks all right. Pins aren't really damaged or anything like that. Put a little bit of deoxit down there. And let's see if that's improved any. See if we can get a beep at least. Okay, no beeps. And like I said, there's ever so slightly some warmth on the CPU itself, which means it's getting something. Okay, there's no power at all now with this. So nothing there. Okay, that took a long time for that to completely shut off with the CPU out. So the CPU is probably draining power, and it took a little bit longer for the power supply to drain with just the LED drawing power. So that tells me something's getting here. What? I don't know. Now I'm going to go a step further here. Let's take this front panel off. And I am just going to get this CD-ROM out of the way. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Yep. That pulls right out. If I do get this thing working, I will be replacing it with a nice beige one to match. I'm going to disconnect the front, the reset, the power switch, just in case that's got something to do with this. The next thing I'm going to try, which I was going to do anyways, is give this thing a bath. Take it apart, take it into the sink, give it a nice, thorough washing. Soap and water, nice warm, hot, soapy water. Warmish hot, not hot, hot. Give it a nice, good, clean, air dry it, like blow it dry with air, and then let it sit for a while. I'd say this is the right time of year to do it because it's winter, but it's also Southern Virginia, so it's kind of humid and in the 60s right now. So it's not the greatest time to try this. You could put it in the oven at a very low temperature, like the lowest setting your oven will go to, and let it cook for a couple hours. That also helps. You do want to rinse it afterwards with, deionized water if you can get your hands on it. Otherwise, distilled water is a good substitute. You don't want to just take it out of your tap. You don't know what your water quality is. You might have hard water, and you'll end up leaving mineral deposits where you don't want that stuff to be. You can also give it a spray down with 99% isopropyl, which is also a good agent to get the water out of where it doesn't need to be. You can then follow up with some deoxit. It's a little expensive. It's like $20 some a can, but it goes a long way. And if it saves a vintage computer that wasn't going to work, it's worth it. Nothing. I'm going to do a full wash of the whole system. Daughter board, power supply, I'm going to leave that be for now, but it does need a good cleaning. Not the biggest fan of washing power supplies, but if you can wash a circuit board, why can't you do a power supply? You just have to make sure everything is discharged, and you then have to make sure that everything is dried completely thoroughly. And then you'd have to do some prayers and sacrifice a chicken and really hope that you didn't mess up when you plug it into your wall. So I'm going to leave it be for now. Okay, so motherboard is out. Daughter board is out. So that's just a fan header, that little P7. So it's probably for the power supply fan. Weird that it wouldn't have its own internal connector, but whatevs. Okay, there's a lot of pins on this thing. I am looking for specifically cold solder joints. Looks clean throughout. Nothing blown up, nothing shorted. Okay, all the pins are good there. Now there is a lot of shmoo underneath of there. Generally looks clean. So that's the daughter board. Let's remove this CPU. Everything there looks as normal as it can be. That's nifty. That comes right off. Alright, so I'm going to cut here and I'm going to go ahead and wash this and I'll be back in a new outfit. Okay, I'm back. It's the same day. I'm still wearing the same shirt, same clothes. I did a warm soapy water bath on this thing. Cleaned it really good. The water was coming off black. Just tons of gunk on there. I'm sure that was affecting it. I rinsed it off with distilled water after that. Ran it completely dry through my shop vac blower nozzle. Once that was done, I threw it in the oven for about half an hour at 170 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the lowest temperature my oven will do. I don't want to melt plastic or anything like that. Not that it would melt for quite a while, like a much warmer temperature, but I just wanted to keep it mild. Don't damage anything. I don't want electronics smoking in the oven that I cook my food in. So I got it all back together, dried out really nice. Losing my voice here. Should be asleep right now, that's probably why. I didn't wash the video card, so that's the original. We'll put the CPU back, the RAM. I didn't wash any of that. So let's throw the CPU, the CMOS battery back in and plug it in. See what happens. All right, fan is spinning on the power supply. I am using a different power supply just to rule that out. We got video. Let's enter setup, see what that looks like. This is exciting. I love when stuff actually works. Is it taking my command? Well, it's still checking the RAM. There's quite a bit of RAM on this thing to check. It's maxed out, I believe. It's 768 meg. 3 channel RAM, or well, 3 DIMM spaces in the RAM there. DIMM slots, whatever. So we're almost up there. Keyboard's working. I'm getting number lock and caps lock. So let's go into setup. Okay, so yeah, it's not seeing a disk. There's no floppy disk. There's nothing attached right now. Password's cleared. Who cares? System CMOS bad. Okay, it's all the normal stuff saying, hey, everything's wrong. Help. So let's go into setup here. It's a 500 megahertz Pentium 3. I thought it was 550. I was wrong. So 500. We're going to upgrade that later. So yeah, everything is default right now. So obviously it's been cleared. System time and system date. So it thinks it's January 1st, 1990. Okay, so that's great. We know it works. So now we're going to go a little further. I'm going to start cleaning the case. I'll make a whole series over this period of time. This is step one. This is the first part of the video. Just getting it to work. We got it to work. So I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to fix it up, and we're going to go from there. So thanks for watching. A little shorter video than some of my others. I'm still getting the groove of things, so hopefully you bear with me. I'm very happy. I am, I could say ecstatic that this is working. I love not having to do a full overhaul on something. I don't have to break at the soldering iron. It just works. So we will see how well it works as we do this whole series of upgrades. So it still wants me to go into the setting. Obviously nothing. Yeah, so I still don't have anything attached, so that's why it's doing that. But it is great to see this old system working because it was dead. It had no hope of life to it. And yeah, let's follow me along and we'll get this thing back to pristine shape. Like, subscribe, let me know what you think, give me ideas for new videos, and we'll go from there. Thank you.